Well, hey everyone, and welcome to the live edition of the Jeep Life podcast. I'm not sure that we've ever just pushed a button and gone. I know I'm jinxing this, but the most technical issue that we had today was I needed to charge the phone for a couple minutes that does the recording right up there. That was it. Bill's already figured out how to hit record and stuff on the mixer.
I just figured we would start recording things because sometimes there's always a good snippet in the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes there is. We just watched Legend of the Giants.
So last night I went and saw a ski movie it's this smaller production house called Matchstick Productions.
Okay.
And they do a premiere of a ski video.
Yes.
Across the United States all last night. So there's a whole bunch of different venues across the United States.
Yep.
It's like a regular movie release.
Yeah.
So a whole bunch of ski nerds get together and they all watch it. Well, it was probably one of the coolest. So this is kind of taking place of another ski video called the Warren Miller movies.
Yeah.
So Warren Miller was an insane free skier.
Yep.
That is before my time of skiing, but he was nuts.
Yep.
Biggest drops, biggest everything, full send on two sticks going down a hill before it was cool.
Right.
You
invented the sport. Really.
Correct. So now they they kept making these videos and just absolutely, showing the world what people are capable of on skis and bigger and badder places.
Yeah.
Well, now there's a new production house in town, and they created the Land of Giants, which they had about 9 different skiing destinations.
Yeah.
These are not resorts.
No.
These are. You have a buddy that has a helicopter, and he likes to fly to crazy places.
Yeah, and drops you in.
Drops you in.
That just wore me out watching it. It was. Holy shit.
And on top of it, last year, if people don't remember, we had record amounts of snow
Out west. Yeah, none here.
Nothing on the East Coast, but out west, it dumped 600-700 inches of snow.
Yeah. And it started early too.
Started early.
Yep.
And in this movie, they talked about different, meteorological events and things that can happen.
That can lead to that. Yeah.
Lead to that. And supposedly there's this thing it's an event where a fire hose basically happens, and it looks like the stream of a fire hose coming out across the western United States, and it just dumps and dumps and dumps and dumps. In 12 days, they got 12 feet.
Wow. Yeah. Give me a little of that this year.
I want a solid 2-3 feet. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We need a good storm up north.
I need to be able to get out and play.
Okay.
And help people.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Mike, Danny, Troy. Thanks for jumping in. We'll get rolling here very shortly. Let some people come on and do their thing.
Hey, and if you haven't seen, Ultimate Adventure has released their episodes out on the YouTubes.
Oh.
So if you're into that kind of thing, Ultimate Adventure.
Gotta check that
by
out.
4-Wheeler Magazine. Really cool, event.
Yeah.
Follow along and everything.
For sure.
I enjoy watching it.
All right, everybody, go out and share it. Let's see if we can get a little. Tonight we are brought to you by A-Treat.
A-Treat, not sponsored, but sponsored.
I've got the Old Fashioned or Wild West Sarsaparilla.
I got the orange cream soda.
Damn good soda.
Both of them are great.
Tonight we are going to kind of talk about some of the things that are new, or a new person might need going out of. No, Troy, no. Yeah, if it we would lose that thing in an instant.
I can run over it.
I think I need two of those, as one for each foot, right? Make it a pair of roller skates.
Yeah, for your size 15s.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Does your foot even fit on the gas pedal, man? Like,
no, I just lose a toe. If I need to go 78, 80 miles an hour, I use two toes.
Put it really to the floor. Do we even have a agenda?
I didn't send one. No.
Okay, good.
No, it literally. Well, yeah. I'll lead things, and then we'll go.
Cool.
All right, everybody. We're going to go ahead and hit that button and get us rolling.
Oh,
What's up, Mike? Or should we?
I didn't even grab the bags that I wanted to bring down.
You want to go get them?
Yeah, I'll go grab them real quick.
All right, go grab them. I'll talk a little bit about our partners while he's running up and getting a couple props, if you will. Everybody, we have an exclusive power tank discount for everyone. I went off-roading this weekend, didn't fill my power tank last week, and it was tapped out. So I had to use the common, what the peasants use to fill up their tires, the air compressor at AOAA, which I'm glad they have, and they've kind of made it nicer. But I still had to use it, and it was slow. It took forever. Nobody was there to have to wait in line, so I just pulled up and did it. But it took, about a minute and a half per tire to go from like 14 psi to 32, and when I normally can do that in about 30 seconds. And so if you want to do that, we have a discount code, JeepLifePod15, for a complete system at checkout at powertank.com. Tell Steven or Tyler that we sent you, and what's up? Pipes and Cold Case, which are the brands of choice around here for exhaust and radiators.
I need some pipes.
Yes. They're offering free shipping on their systems to our listeners. Jeep Life is the code at pipesexhouse.com.
He's gonna
and Cold Case.
And that's just coldcase.com.
So make sure to use those and tell them we sent you.
Don't tell them that we sent you this point.
Yeah. Off-camera lighting, I hear that they're up their discount to 30%.
Wow.
Jeep Life Pod is the code to use there for all your flashlight.
I still love that little pen light.
The pen light's the best.
I use it all the time.
Yeah. I have a couple of them in the Jeep, multiple brands.
Yes.
But the one I keep coming to is
Yep.
that one. That's the one I grab most frequently.
Slimmer than all the others,
Yeah.
and then also the end of it has like a little protection.
Yeah.
Because we all need a little protection in our life.
Yes.
No, but it has like a raised extrusion that protects the button.
Yes.
So when it's in your pocket, it doesn't accidentally turn on all the time, which most other pen light buttons are just very exposed. You sit down, it turns the light on in your pocket, and then all of a sudden it's dead.
Yeah.
So.
And our presenting sponsor, as always, for this year is ArmorLite, and they have a discount for our listeners, Jeep Life Podcast 10, for a complete ArmorLite system at GoArmorLite.com. And let me tell you, I put enough mud on that Armorlite.
I put a good amount of mud on it too.
Yeah, so I haven't cleaned it yet. I'm probably going to do a quick little
Hose down.
hose down video with that,
Yeah.
just so I can do it on the socials for those
Pressure
guys.
washer works the best, man.
I'm telling you. All right, so we got some new listeners on here. So we got, hey, Dave, Gerard, what's happening, man? Rochelle, Mark, how's it going, folks? Good to see you on here. Let's, I'm going to hit that button. If I can find the electronic version of that button. Oh, hey, everyone, and welcome to the Jeep Life Podcast. We are proudly presented by Armorlite, the toughest flooring on the trail. We have a discount code for our listeners to upgrade the interior of your Jeep, and that is Jeep Life Podcast 10 for a complete Armorlite system at GoArmorlite.com. Our thanks to them for presenting us our show. I'm Jeep and Terry, and I'm joined in the studio by my good friend Breaky Bill. What's happening?
You know what I love about my Armorlite so much?
What's that?
The noise reduction.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's really a huge deal.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is I can always tell when one of the plugs
I
opens
yeah.
because all of
Yeah.
a sudden it just like gets 10 times louder in the Jeep, and I'm like,
Yeah.
which one's open? So I have to get out, walk all around to each door, open it up, check the plug, and as soon as it's closed, quiet again.
Yeah, it's amazing how that little drain plug, and I actually, even though I have very little hearing in my left ear, I mean like very little, so non-directional hearing
Yep.
most of the time, I can tell which one's unplugged
Yeah.
just by where it's coming from, and it bugs the shit out of me until I pull over.
It really does.
But, you know, it's impressive how quiet it is until the plug's undone.
Yep.
But our thanks to them. All right, so last week we were in the studio. We had a relatively uneventful week, and then at kind of the last minute, I called you up, texted you, and said, hey, Lexi and I want to go
Yeah.
take her Jeep out for the first time. Do you want to hang out with us in Big Red
Yeah, Reaper was kind of down, not down for the count, just down getting some maintenance, which we have examples of the maintenance sitting on the table right here in front of us,
Yep.
but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, so called me up and I was like, yeah, I'm game. Let's head up there.
Yeah.
So jumped in Big Red, met you at the Route 61 Wawa.
Yeah,
which is
our
in
normal kind of
in
meeting.
Hamburg. So then we caravanned all the way up there, followed some Shipbox 3000s, which were awesome, and we actually knew who they were, and they're sweet rigs, and
Yeah.
I used to drive a Shipbox 4000, so...
Yeah, it was so funny because we did get behind them pretty much right there.
Yeah.
And we're following them up, and I'm directly behind this Chevy S10
That is jacked to the moon.
to the moon. But it was so funny because you know the leaf springs on those are so narrow on the axle.
It really was.
And I thought at any moment the thing's going to just tip over.
Bloop. No, it was cool though.
Yeah, I mean, that probably had to be run 38s or 40s.
Yep.
On those, I think there was an Isuzu Rodeo or something like that.
And then a Wrangler.
Yeah,
as well, which we knew the Wrangler.
Yeah, we know Chad.
Yep, Chad Schneider.
He's in our Jeep club.
Yes,
but he also is in the business.
Yes, he owns a shop up in I think it's, I forget the name of the area. It's up in Lehighton area.
Yeah. So relatively close to us, just up in the Poconos.
Yep.
But it's cool to see them, and then we did see them out on the trail
Yes.
and said hey and everything, and they were just
chugging along.
Yeah, they definitely, you could hear them.
Yes. And so, yeah, it was a good day out on the trails. Got some light green trails in. And, you know, as always, trying to figure out the gremlins of my love, hate relationship with my Jeep.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit later because, you know, we took Lexi up, and even though she's wheeled in my vehicle and been going off-roading with me for a long time,
Yeah.
this was her first time taking her own personal vehicle up there.
Yeah.
And we kind of, that was the whole point, was to just literally let her get her in a no pressure situation, get her feet wet, you know, because this isn't a big group of people. This is with two people that she's known very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, she could be in her Jeep by herself, of course with radio contact, but it was good to kind of go through that with her.
Mm-hmm. And walk her through different situations that she will encounter when she's up.
Yes.
Maybe when she's by herself at some point, you know?
Yeah, and you know, it was one of those things, we didn't need a third vehicle. I felt like we should have taken a second vehicle.
Yes.
But we didn't need it. But it was good to have some, you know, you could be in the front, she could be in the middle, and I could be in the back and talk her through things, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So she could follow us and know which which line to take, even though we weren't doing anything difficult.
No.
It's all building
Confidence.
blocks, right? And we talk to Holly all the time, and seat time is everything. 100%. So just getting up there, she had never driven on a interstate by herself, and
that's a
for
distance.
that distance. Yeah. You know, she's done it for like 3 miles,
right? You know, exit
between
to exit.
exits, right? But she's never done, you know, like a 30-minute drive or a 40-minute drive on an interstate.
Yeah.
And 78 in that particular area is not necessarily the easiest to travel.
No, it's a heavy truck area.
Yeah.
So.
Luckily in the morning it was light.
Yeah.
But as the afternoon return was, it was thick. So you know, it's good training for her as a young driver to kind of see those situations.
Yeah.
But out on the trail, I mean, even she's been setting up my Jeep for years.
Since day one.
You know, in the parking lot, right? You know, doing the quick disconnects and airing down the tires. So she got right to started with airing down her tires. Yep. And she knew that she doesn't have quick disconnects, but she knew exactly what to do to disconnect. And you know, it was the first time that those bolts had been removed
ever,
probably since 2010.
Yeah,
when they were installed. Ever. And so one of them was a tough little break, and got that set up and zip tied them up.
Yeah.
She's going to take my set of quick disconnects.
Okay.
Because mine are too short for my vehicle.
Yep.
Hers will be fine when we get the lift on. But it was good to kind of get things set up, and you know, Porzy came over and hung out and talked to us before we got on the trail. But it was good to kind of get out there, and it was a beautiful day.
It was a little cold, chilly.
It was cold in the parking lot, but I didn't feel cold or chilly when we were on the trail.
Yeah, once we got out on the trail and even like walking around the Jeeps and being out by the Mammoth and everything, it was not. I didn't find it cold. It was
not at all
reasonable.
You know, our intention from the very beginning was to just go up for 3 or 4 hours and tool around, not do anything difficult, just, you know, get her behind the wheel.
Yep. And
we succeeded with that. I mean, we got out of the parking lot, and all of a sudden my exhaust was just flapping around in the wind.
Yeah. Hey Terry, you know your exhaust is hanging down. What? Yeah, I can hear something, but
yeah, it was just clank, clank,
clank, clank,
clank,
clank, clank, which is so interesting because it broke on the inside of one of the exhaust clamps.
Yeah.
Like, and not where it was, just very cleanly, like all the way around.
Yeah, yeah.
Very interesting. And I think it was just over time and how much you've abused it.
Yes.
So maybe there's some time. You're in store for a new pipe in that section or something.
Probably.
Yeah. So we got that all taken care of. I was able to move the exhaust clamp closer over the crack and seal it all back up, so there's no issue, and you're still running strong.
Good to go for now. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, And then we made our way out to the Mammoth. It was
Yes.
a good time.
Yep.
Went to the overlooks.
Yeah. It was great to, get out there and just be able to see and show Lexi some of the things that
We stopped
you've
at
done.
Yeah, 2 different locations we stopped at and showed her the first 1,800 feet and 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
Which is that's where they have nothing, that's what it's called, is
Right.
nothing. And then the beginning of the Mammoth, which up to the gut check.
Yeah, nothing
or
is
the
really.
or the boneyard.
It's
whatever you call it.
It's the kind of shake out the gremlins before.
Yeah, it's like come put your tires on and see if you make it that far.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you can turn
Then
around
you-
and go back.
Then you can continue if you make it that far.
Right.
It's basically the giant gatekeeper of the gatekeeper. Then we stopped at the scenic overlook, and then I decided to do something dumb.
Yeah. It never fails.
Why do I always do dumb
Ne-
shit?
Why? It's one of the things that's so endearing about you.
Dumb shit, Billy.
Yeah. So you've done this in the past at this particular,
Very
spot.
same exact spot, very same exact location.
but I thought you
However,
backed up it
Yes,
last time.
last time I backed up it.
Yes.
This time I decided, let's be cool, and I'm going to pull up it forward.
Yeah.
Jeep did fine.
Oh,
Jeep
it
pulled-
climbed.
right up it, no issue, 4 low. I mean, I did lock the rear just so it didn't slide
right.
too much, but popped right up it. And
Yeah.
it was a pretty good incline.
Yeah, it was.
Let's put it that
It
way.
was steep.
To the point that my exhaust tips were pretty much on the ground.
Yeah,
Like, it
you
was-
you exceeded the
I
departure
exceeded
angle.
the verticalness.
Yeah.
And so I learned a very valuable lesson.
Mm.
When you put your Jeep that vertical with a 3.6 liter Penta Star,
White smoke everywhere.
oh my gosh. We were like doing insect repellent for the next 60 years
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, we threw some smoke down.
I threw a lot of smoke.
Yeah, it was almost borderline embarrassing driving back through as we would hit groups.
I was
smoke
just like,
just billowing out.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say.
But it was very disconcerting because you had just gotten that Jeep back from
All right,
having
so I
a new engine.
Literally 650 miles on this motor.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I've already replaced an ignition coil pack and all the spark plugs.
Yes.
So, I'm not in good faith right now.
And this is
And so I get it back down. It never misfires once.
yeah.
Check engine light was already on from something previous. It was on because the catalytic converter was blown from the previous
Right.
motor. I knew that. I've been just literally haven't gotten around to replacing that cat yet.
Yep.
So
Because they're not cheap.
they're not cheap.
Right.
It's $500-$600 for a new cat.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about like the one that goes meow. So and I'm just like, all right, never misfires, never sputters. It may have sputtered a little bit when I got to the top,
Yeah.
but I was like, yeah, whatever. So like I get up to the top and it I sit there for a second. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna back down. So I back down.
Yep.
As it's coming back down, it starts smoking
Yes.
because it's so vertical. So we're like, oh crap. So it's still running fine.
Right.
Never
Right.
doesn't misfire. I start it up, let it run. It's just still smoking like wet leaves in.
Well, I know the first thought that went through both of our minds was not another engine.
Not another one.
Not another
No.
one.
Not fourth and 650 miles. No. No.
So it was blowing smoke. I mean, white, thick smoke.
It was blowing smoke rings right out
Yeah.
right out the exhaust
It
pipe.
did. There was one when you revved it. There was one nice little ring that came out.
Like-
I wish I'd had the camera at the ready.
I don't know. I didn't want documentation of that.
And
I
then
don't
there
wanna
was-
remember it.
You know, oil on the tips.
Yeah, that was a little disconcerting. The oil on a lot of oil. and there was oil dripping out of like one of the connection points.
Yep.
But it was very dark oil, like, and there is a very good possibility that there was oil in the system from the previous motor in the exhaust.
Yep.
And I still haven't burned it out yet because it's not very many miles I've put on it.
Right.
Exhaust didn't get that hot. And then, sitting up that steep angle,
Yep.
the oil moved to a hot spot, and then it just started burning off. And then today I decided to pull the entire exhaust system off to make sure.
Yeah.
And run it a lot and, mess around with it and ran it all the way home. Ran fine all the way home, except for every once in a while there'd be just a giant cloud of smoke behind me because it would be burning off more of the oil or whatever.
Yep.
So today, pulled off the entire exhaust system, replaced the cat, went and bought a new one.
Got it off, might as well.
Yep, new O2 sensors on that side. Everything's all taken care of. They inspected the entire exhaust system. There was no physical, oil in the exhaust. And, put it all back together.
Yep.
And it's running fine.
Yeah, I mean, 80 down the highway.
It's probably running better than it was before because I put a new catalytic converter on it, and the previous cat was completely clogged.
Right. So the exhaust and the intake kind of balance out, right?
Now they balance, and we're doing good.
So there were, there's two schools of thought here, and one is that, you and I had kind of had the conversation that it was probably residual oil.
Yep.
But it also could have been
cylinder wash.
Yeah.
So I talked to Dr. Don.
Yep, as
about
one
this.
should.
Yep. I called Dr. Don up real quick, and I said, hey, man, what do you think of this? And I laid it all out for him, and he was like, yeah, you know what? You were probably at such a steep angle.
Yeah.
I was like, I told him, I was like, my exhaust tip's probably on the ground. Almost on the ground. And he was like, yeah, what happens is basically you put the engine at such a high angle that the oil washes up into the rear two cylinders in cylinders 5 and 6, and it'll burn that oil off because it's on the cylinder walls and it has to burn it off.
Yep.
So probably that's what happened. Threw a whole bunch of oil out the exhaust into the exhaust system.
Yep.
And can't do nothing about it. Let it burn.
Yeah,
burn, baby, burn.
And either way, I think the result is you're probably going to smell some oil.
Oh, absolutely.
For a couple weeks.
Yeah.
As you burn all that excess.
Yep.
Out. But I don't.
And now there's no mosquitoes around the end of the Mammoth, so we're good.
Right, we've killed all the mosquitoes. So it was, we went from there and we took the shortest route possible back.
Well, I was just trying to burn it off more and see what happens. So we get about halfway back, and it's pretty much almost cleared itself up.
Yep.
And then I get back out to back to the trailhead. It's cleared itself up completely.
Right.
I get back out to the main road, driving up the hill. It comes back.
Yeah. So it's, again, it probably moved that a little bit of oil back toward a hot spot.
Just burning it back off,
Yep.
and then continued to do it.
Yep.
All the way, kind of home.
Yeah.
It'd get really hot, burn it off, kind of come to a stop, it would cool down, burn it off again, this, that, and the other thing. So, whatever.
Well, the good news is, one of the good news is you were able to get it home without any major catastrophes.
Yeah.
Lexi wanted to stop and have lunch together.
Yeah.
So we sent you on, but we took the same path home.
Yep.
Because we live, down the
2
road from
minutes
each
away.
other. So I knew that if worst case scenario, we'd pick you up on the side of the road and AAA you back.
Yeah.
But to that, there are some, you've done some work. This stuff here on the table is,
some pretty cool stuff.
This is going into
this is
Reaper.
the maintenance on Reaper. So this is why I wasn't out in Reaper this past weekend. I knew that I had a transmission pan seal leak.
Yes.
So I decided a couple weeks ago to pull it all apart, pull the belly pan off, pull this engine skid plate off, everything like that, and pop the transmission pan off, clean it all up, reseal it. usually I have to change it, not change it, but, reseal it about every 6 to 8
Did you
months.
RTV it up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I RTV'd it. So what happens is at full flex, the drive shaft comes into contact with the side of the transmission.
Oh, all right.
Like,
yeah,
it's just
that's the nature of the beast.
can't get it. I mean, there could be more offset on the, the pumpkins and this and that. I'm not chopping axles and doing this. And
Right,
doing
right.
that. It's fine. For the few times it happens, I'm not worried
That
about
you're
it.
at that flex. Yep.
So in the process, I figured, I was like, all right, well, might as well pull the transfer case pan as well, and we'll just look at it, pull the
Yep.
fluid. It needs new fluid too.
I mean, you already have the skid plates off at
I got
that
everything
point.
off.
You might as well do
might
it,
as well
right?
do it. So pull the fluid. It looks dark,
Yep.
which expected.
Yep.
But I've been, going through everything, making sure everything's good. Resealed the transfer case pan. So that has an Atlas 2-speed, 5-to-1 transfer case. So that is a gear ratio of 5 rotations to 1 output rotation, which is really nice for the rock crawling
Yes.
and everything like that. But it does take some special fluid.
Mm.
So I reached out to my good buddy of the
yeah.
podcast, and
Friend Jerry. Yep.
avid listener, Jerry over at Amsoil.
Yep.
So if you are looking for Amsoil products, head over and talk to Jerry. We will put his contact information in the show notes.
Yep.
But so there are some special fluids that this Atlas takes, and the first one is manual transmission and transaxle gear lube. SAE 75W-90.
It's a lot of words.
Yes. So this is it is a specifically formulated gear oil, and the main part of this is the GL4, which is a specific oil that the Atlas transfer cases require. So Amsoil does a lot of testing on their products. So this is meant for also manual transmissions, as I said.
Yep.
And they test this fluid to 180,000 miles. Service life is 100,000.
Yes.
So you should be changing your fluids regularly. But I think this is the best stuff out on the market right now.
Yep.
I trust it, and I'm going to put my foot behind it.
There you go.
Literally.
Literally.
And then on top of that, I got the just regular old gear lube for my diffs, which is 75-140. This is for ARB differentials, and so yeah. But they are in also really cool thing. Sorry, side note again.
No, I was literally going to say what you're going to say.
They're in these fancy little easy to squeeze bags.
Yes. Yeah.
Which makes it super easy to fill things up in odd places up underneath your Jeep.
Yeah, a lot of brands are starting to do that now.
So, but Amsoil was the first. I can say that.
Yep.
So Amsoil was the first to put all of their fluids in these easy packs.
And to be honest with you, I like the way they do their bags a little bit better than the other brands, because inevitably you're going to spill some.
You do.
It's less likely to happen with these.
Yes. And the bags are really durable too. Like throw them into your toolbox and they're gonna last. They're hard to puncture.
Yep.
So they're gonna hold up for you. If you have them in a bag or a crate or something in the back of your Jeep, they're gonna hold up.
I've always been leery of that, but seeing them actually in the back of your vehicle, they hold up.
I'll throw one right in my toolbox and not think twice about it.
Yeah. Don't go out and stick your knife through them, but
no,
it would be tough.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, our thanks to Jerry for his continued support of the podcast. And I know that he takes care of us, and we're going to take care of him. We did have something along this line. Joe, he's good about asking these questions immediately. What are the must-do mods for engine longevity if you have the V6 Pentastar?
Change your oil
on a habitual, ritualistic manner.
Yep, that's it. Don't do another thing to it.
Yep.
That's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
That's what we're starting to discover. If you do absolutely nothing to them,
Yeah. Change the oil.
change your oil, change your fluids. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Make sure they stay cool. Make sure they don't overheat.
So
That's
and that kind of
change
goes
anything.
right. Don't change anything, but make sure that you're inspecting the
Yep.
the tough spots. You know,
Yeah.
the pulleys, the tensioner pulleys. Those are
Tensioner
going to go
pulleys,
out.
Your idler pulleys.
Check those.
Check your
Check your
alternators.
belts.
Make sure everything's good. I mean, if you want to put an upgraded alternator on it, no big deal. If you want to put an upgraded power steering pump, no big deal. But internals of the motor, don't change a thing.
No.
For some odd reason, this motor is very finicky when you start changing stuff. And I think that's the best way to put it.
Yes.
If you want to blow one up really quick, put a supercharger on it.
Right. Don't. We all like to vroom vroom.
Yeah.
But those motors are, I mean, they're just workhorse motors. They're not, it's not a high performance motor.
No.
But it is built to go the distance.
Unless you want
if you do the
to,
things.
start playing with them and messing around with it and don't mind replacing one.
And then that does, if you're going to do that, that requires a commitment to expect the potential bad things that could happen and be able to fix that.
There are some bad things that can happen.
Right. Says the guy on engine number 4.
Yep.
But just oil change on a regular basis. Check your hoses. Make sure it runs cool and not overheating.
Mm-hmm.
Because those do run warm.
Yeah.
So just make sure your fluids are in. All right. Thanks for that question, and we appreciate it. This is where we would normally say, we want to hear from you.
We do. We still want to hear from you.
Yes. So send us your shop. We want to see that. I had a couple people tell me, I want to show you my shop. And
where is it?
where is it?
Where
Show
is
it. We had Jay last week,
Yeah.
and what a cool shop.
Really cool shop.
Is it because his shop is so cool that you're
Your
embarrassed
shop
to show?
is just as cool
Just
in its
as
own
cool.
way.
Exactly. So send it in. We want to see it. We want to share it with others. Maybe next week we'll do a primer if we need to and show Bill's shop.
It might be clean.
It might be.
Probably not.
It got a little rearranged, but now both vehicles have been in it twice.
In, out. Yeah.
So make sure to send those in. info@jeeplifepodcast.com. Get that taken care of. 2023 is winding down.
I know. We're going to be hitting hard next year, though.
Oh, yeah. Dude, season 5.
Season 5.
Can you believe it?
It's like a big deal.
It is a big deal. So we're trying to figure out. We've got a killer thing coming in season 5. We can't wait to break that out. We'll see who we can get as our first guest of the year.
I think I have a good one in the coffers.
I bet you do. So season 5 is really exciting. That's coming up. But also with that, we'll come up with our 2024 calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big thing that we're going to be at probably first is I think I'll be out at Easter Jeep Safari.
Okay.
I don't think I will be at Easter Jeep Safari.
Cool.
So I'll be covering that for everybody and showing up. But I don't think we have anything big until that. I know you go full into ski season.
I'm going to be sliding down a mountain.
Yeah, that starts real soon.
Yep.
As soon as we get some snow
Mm-hmm.
in this area. But look for our events for next year so that you can come see us. We're going to be busy. Oh, no. The first event is going to be the Philly Auto Show.
Yes, Philly Auto Show.
Yeah, in January.
Reaper will be making an appearance again, possibly Big Red as well.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I won't have my vehicle in there, but I might have a vehicle.
Cool.
There. Cool. All right. So because we went out this past weekend, yesterday, with a first timer.
Yep.
we thought it would be
we
good
gotta talk
to
about the first timer stuff.
we got to talk about the first timer stuff, and I thought it would be good to kind of bounce some things out. What do you expect as a first timer?
Yep.
And then what are some of the things that you might need or others around you might need for you?
Mm-hmm. Or friends may need to provide.
Yes. All right. So let's start with stuff you're going to need in the parking lot.
Well, let's start even before you leave.
Okay.
A lunch,
Oh yeah.
snacks,
Take some
water,
water, snacks, drinks.
a blanket
Food.
for in the back. You know, just
Yeah.
some general basics
Yeah.
to have with you.
It's
An extra sweatshirt,
yes.
maybe some gloves, and both maybe warm gloves and work gloves.
There is a difference.
You never know.
Yep.
And possibly like a warm hat.
Yep.
If it's that time of the year.
Yeah.
So that's before you even leave to go to the trails.
Yep.
And then you also want to make sure your Jeep's ready, inspect everything.
Yep.
You know, we have plenty of other episodes that talk about what you need to inspect on your
Yes.
Jeep at first time going out
Yep.
wheeling or returning wheeling as well. And then you need to make sure you gas up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gassing up's important.
We went the night before and loaded it up.
Cool.
Because we didn't know at that time because it was raining and before I even called you I was like, or we texted, I was like, if it's raining I'm not going.
Yeah.
I don't want to soup.
Yeah, no.
No.
Also, another thing to do before you leave for the trails is to make sure your waiver is signed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because some outdoor
Most
places
outdoor
require it. Yeah.
yeah, associations or event places require some type of form of waiver.
Yep.
So if you end up killing yourself out there, they're not responsible.
We don't even want to check and see if it's open or if you need permits.
Permits,
'Cause out
times
west,
they're open,
yeah.
costs, fees, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
Do your homework on where you're going.
And make sure you take a friend.
Absolutely, always travel with a buddy.
Yeah. Buddy system is in effect.
Yes, especially out on the trails. And that's a buddy Jeep. That's not just a buddy in your Jeep.
Right. Right. And I was going to say that because originally when Lexi and I were thinking about this, she asked the question, are you going to ride up with me? And I was like, nope, we need two vehicles. So we'll be going up separately.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
that was before you were
Yeah.
in the equation.
Still, no matter what, it was.
Need a buddy Jeep
Yes.
always.
Absolutely. And then you make your way up to the trails. You need to first check in.
Yes.
You know, go down to the event building or wherever you're at. Pay your fees, get your wristbands or stickers or whatever you need. And then you need to start setting up your Jeep.
Yes.
You got to air down.
Yeah. So the some sort of airing down
Helps.
mechanism.
Yes. Whether
So-
it's your key and a gauge or your fancy tire deflators, automatic tire deflators, or the rapid deflators by like Smitty Build or Treadhawk or some of the other ones out there.
Yeah.
They all work really well. So, depending on your experience level, you will know kind of how much you want to air down to.
So that was the question I wanted to ask. Let's say we're going, or
I
it's
would
our
say-
first time
Yep.
going out. We're not going to be bouncing this thing off
No.
the rev limiter on a rock
No.
rock garden.
I would say between 15 to 18 psi
Yep.
is a reasonable number to take your stock wheels and tires down,
Yeah.
and that's going to give you a little bit of a softer ride. It's going to give you a little bit more of a footprint, so some better traction
Yep.
out there. And that would be reasonable. Also, make sure that you have some type of air reinflation device,
Yep.
power tank, air pump, ARB, or some of these trailheads have air compressors
Yes.
to refill your tires. If not, hit up the local gas station and pay your dollars.
Well, that's when we first started going out, I would have to do that. Especially
Sometimes.
We weren't equipped like we
Yeah.
are now. We would
Yeah.
have to drive 10 or 15 minutes on 15 psi to wherever we're going, and then
Yep.
and then air it up there, and those compressors they are slow
Low.
and they cost monies.
Yep.
And it's just not.
Yeah.
But know that you might have to do that if you're
Yeah.
at a place that doesn't have that and offer it. Make a plan. Find out before
Yes.
you go where you can air up.
And then another thing to do, and this is maybe not your first time you go out wheeling, but maybe your second or third. Learn how to disconnect your front sway bar.
Yes.
So take off your sway bar links, and you are going to want to carry also a little toolkit with you
Yep.
while you're out there, and you want to have some zip ties in there. So
Yep.
you can zip tie your sway bar link up. Usually there are other people in the parking lot that are more than willing to help you do that or teach you how to do it.
Yes.
Maybe stand there and foreman the job.
Right. Yep.
So definitely I would say it will give you an easier ride out on the trails.
Yep.
So that's some of the things that you can do in the parking lot. Obviously, make sure your radios are all set up, synced up, ready to go when you're there with your buddies.
Yeah, it is definitely good to have some sort of radio system.
Device, yeah.
We are all using GMRS now.
Yeah. Also, make sure you have the maps, trail maps, or Onyx off-road.
Yep.
Onyx is amazing. I use Onyx all the time now at this point.
Yeah, now that it has CarPlay
Yeah.
capability, that's
It's
what I
huge.
use.
Yep.
And it's really accurate.
Yeah.
I would like to see more information from it.
They're working on it.
But as far as just it's ease of use, especially now that CarPlay is a factor. Perfect.
I know they're definitely working on the usability of the app.
Yeah.
And the information that's provided.
Yeah, and part of that, is making sure that they work with, whatever local park or whatever to supply some maps and stuff to give them information. Because it's tough to get mapping information. So all that, we haven't even gone out yet. I like the idea of making sure that there are some tools
Yes.
in your bag, and that and there are multiple facets to that. But just even disconnecting the sway bar
You need
in links, you need 2 wrenches at minimum.
You need 2 18s. You need 18 millimeter socket and an 18 millimeter wrench, or some adjustable wrenches are always great to have. A pair of pliers.
Yes.
Some screwdrivers, maybe a small Allen key set. They're always just some basic tools. A hammer, maybe a rubber mallet.
Yep. And everything you've said so far, we used
out there
on Saturday.
Yes, we did.
And that's not a lot of like specialized tools. Those are like little normal
basic hand tools.
And throw them in a bag, throw them back so that you have them.
Yep.
And it
pack of zip ties, some duct tape.
Yes.
A first aid kit.
I that's on my list to get. I need a first aid kit.
I have one.
I know you do.
I have an extensive first aid kit that hangs on my tailgate.
When I go with you or with Scott, I know I'm covered, or Mike. But I need a first aid kit in my vehicle, and I've been saying that for the past year and a half.
It's very important.
Yeah.
There are some good kits out there. There are some cheaper kits. I would say make sure you spend the money on the components that are crucial.
Yes. You need they're just basic first aid.
Yep.
What are the needs? And you could probably Google.
You can Google basic first aid kits and just don't go to the basic plastic one at Walmart.
Yeah, and you
get it
because you're dealing with
decent.
mechanical and things that can happen. You might need a little more.
Yes,
a little more involved, but definitely also bee sting
stuff. Some Benadryl.
Yeah,
I always keep just Benadryl in my center console as well.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
I keep a little pill bottle thing with
a
couple different things. So Advil, Benadryl, Tylenol.
That's a good idea. I mean,
I always do.
Last time I went out, I got
a couple Tums.
6 bee stings.
Yeah.
Now, do you carry oil and some fluids too, right?
Depends. This time I did not.
Okay.
So, but
I know they're
like,
always in Reaper.
Yeah, they're always in Reaper because you never know when you're upside down. And you're going to need to refill something.
Yep.
But I would say it's always good just to have it like 2 extra quarts of oil with you and maybe some transmission fluid, some power steering fluid, and some brake fluid.
Yeah.
Brake fluid's always a really good one to carry because it happens you break a brake line somehow.
They're vulnerable. They're in a very vulnerable spot. Yeah.
You catch one on a rock, you catch one on a tree, a stump, or this or that. You might need to. Another thing to keep in your toolkit always is a pair of vice grips.
Vice grips. Yeah.
Carry vice grips. If you break a brake line,
yep.
you take the brake line, you fold it over, you use the vice grips to crimp it, and you can fill up your brake fluid, and it will get you off the trail.
Yes.
I would not recommend driving it home.
Right.
I've
Trail
done it.
maintenance is different than road maintenance.
I've done it. Don't do it, because if you lose fluid, you lose your brakes, and it's not a good time.
Right.
Do not do it. Our lawyers are saying, do not drive.
Everybody, they're texting me right now.
Do not drive your Jeep with a broken brake line.
Yep, they're having a fit.
On the road. Okay. Got that out of the way.
We are legally not responsible.
We are legally not responsible for anything that may or does incur while you're out on the trails. So, yeah, I mean, some basic fluids is always good to have. Extra water, so maybe some extra radiator, some coolant.
Yeah.
Always good to have. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah,
A camp chair.
Oh, yeah.
Always carry a camp chair.
You never know.
You never know.
You might just want to sit there and just watch the sun. Do your thing.
Watch paint dry.
I like to do that.
What? Watch paint dry?
No, but get somewhere and just chill for a while.
Stop and smell the roses, man.
Yeah, as and that was one of the things I really enjoyed about going out and not hammering.
We didn't
this
go
time.
that far.
We didn't go that far. We didn't do that much stuff. But you remember when you and I started this?
Yeah.
We weren't bouncing off the rev limiters.
No.
We were just getting out there.
Yep.
And we did very similar to what we did there, except we did a few more dumb things.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed that tremendously, just being
great.
out there and watching my kid
Yeah.
do something and have fun and a smile on her face.
Yep.
She was ecstatic the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's fun just to get to the scenic overlook
Yeah.
and just hang out. And
and we saw the fossils.
we did see fossils. Those are cool.
We found the fossils out on the Mammoth, so a lot of the rock that is there was mined out of
Yep.
it. And it's overburdened and this and that, but there was a lot of fossils, ferns, petrified wood.
Yeah, that was
in the
really cool to
rocks.
have see the petrified wood. The
Yeah.
shell had kind of, you could see the layers as it
Yep.
hardened
Yeah.
over time.
It was really cool.
So that was really cool.
Another thing to carry in your Jeep, a tarp
Oh, yeah.
or some type of
Thing.
mat.
Yeah,
to
so
lay
that
on.
your buddy can lay on it.
So your buddy can lay on it while he's working under your Jeep on his exhaust.
Yeah, the good news, we're not in a muddy.
Oh, thank
spot,
goodness we
but-
were in a mud hole. But
That's a
jeez.
good idea.
A
And
tarp, so you
some-
don't get covered
yeah.
in dirt.
I know that you use, and I know Scott does this as well. He's got some little mat squares.
Yep.
That he brings out.
Yeah.
A little more comfortable. So maybe I'll get some of those for you
Yeah.
to keep in my Jeep. Oh, camera.
A camera.
Your phone.
Your phone.
Get it out.
A phone charger.
Yeah.
Any other chargers that you may need or will need out on the trail.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing to throw in there. I'm glad that I had a jump kit,
Yeah.
because you never know.
Yep. Jump pack.
Yeah.
Always good to have.
Always good.
And your cooler
Yes.
with no alcohol in it.
Yeah, don't drink.
Don't do that.
No, don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Or
Nobody
gal.
likes that guy.
No. No, that's all I got.
and they will throw you out for it.
At the park we go to, they won't even ask questions about it.
They don't.
No, and I'm glad.
And going forward, there will be changes to the rules that
Yes.
if you are caught
Mhm.
out on the trails with alcohol, you are immediately removed, and then once back to the parking lot, you will be served with paperwork to say you are never allowed back.
Yes.
Because it is clearly stated, I think in 16 different locations, on your way in to the park,
Yep.
no alcohol on the trails.
Yep.
So first timers, don't do it.
Yeah, and
Veterans, don't do it.
don't do it. Everybody, don't do it.
Don't do it.
There's a time and a place.
At the campground,
Yep, at the
when your
campground.
Jeep is turned off.
Yes. Well, that about sums it up for that. And thanks for going out with us. We had a blast.
Dude, always a blast. Why not just blow up another motor?
Don't do that.
Nah.
I'm tired of that.
I did get to do a little some go fast stuff, which was fun.
Yeah.
If you noticed, I was hanging back a few times, or I would just take off.
Yep. Yeah, there was once when you were in the lead that the trail just opened up and you just took off, and I was like, Lex, don't follow him.
Don't
do
follow
it.
him.
Just-
Do not do what Billy does. Just watch him do dumb stuff.
and then she took off.
I figured it was pretty reasonable. It wasn't anything.
No, she's a good kid, so
Yeah.
I trust her.
She was well in her comfort level.
Yeah, for sure. And then next time we go, we'll add just a little bit more. We're gonna lift her Jeep soon.
Yep.
We'll get her old new tires back on.
Okay.
So that she can feel a little more comfortable. They're a little bit taller.
Yep.
A little wider and got some more grip.
Cool. Looking forward to
It'll
it,
be,
man.
it'll be good. That's it, man. I'm done.
Yeah.
Where can people find us?
Well, you already found us, so just go tell your friend about the Jeep Life
That's right.
podcast.
That's right.
Tell all your friends, shove it down their throat. Jeep Life podcast is right. I don't know. But definitely, we have a YouTube channel. Head over to the YouTube, search Jeep Life Podcast, and you will be up to date with all of our latest videos. I think another video is going to be coming out very soon.
Very soon.
So, stay tuned.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. I'm Jeep and Terry. That's my good friend Bill. And here's a big Jeep wave to everybody.
See you later.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Joe, for that question. That's awesome. Jake, Jason joined us. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Yeah, I want to definitely get some snow this year, Mike. I'm down with that. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh, that's right. Thanksgiving is this week.
Yeah, man.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving.
And, on Wednesday, toss one back for me. It's my birthday.
Yeah, man.
All right. We're out of here. See you guys.